Hey guys, good evening. Welcome back to the channel, United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Please subscribe if you're new to United Red Devils 20 on YouTube, the channel and the community. And hope everyone's looking forward to their rest of their Wednesday evening in January 2023 this year. First of all, do me a massive favour for me. Hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, which is United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Please subscribe, bottom right hand corner if you're new to the channel and community. Remember to share the video, hit the tweet button, hit the retweet button, and remember to put the notification bell on at all times so you receive dedicated content for brand new content right throughout the rest of 2023 this year on my YouTube channel, United Red Devils 20. So please subscribe to the channel if you are new to the community and the channel. That is United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Got more Fortnite content, brand new FIFA 23 career mode, and much more brand new stuff planned for the rest of 2023 on United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. And welcome to your Premier League match reaction to Manchester United's dramatic, disappointing, and yet again another disappointing performance again this evening on match day 19 of the Premier League season. And Manchester United have yet again shown their incompetence on and off the pitch. That performance today was the worst I've seen in the last 10 games. And tonight, Manchester United had the 3 points in the hand and basically bottled it. That second half performance was absolutely shambolic. There is no service to Weghorst in the box. The midfield simply isn't good enough. The defence is weak. The left back and right back are vulnerable. And that attack as well. Marcus Rashford having a massive off night for me. And basically, it was shown from the second half a minute go. Man United had a huge opportunity to go into the Arsenal game in front of Man City, in front of Newcastle. And basically, Manchester United have bottled it. A game we literally had in our hands, and we give away a stupid fucking free kick in the last 2 to 3 minutes of the game. And Olise stunner has absolutely stunned United. You could see the reaction on Erik ten Hag's face that game was there to be won. And basically, Man United players have down-tooled and basically bottled a game. They basically had the win. They had the 3 points. And when you're looking at that performance as a team as a whole, the standards have dropped again, and I'm not covering up for these players anymore. You had a huge opportunity to be sat second tonight in the league, and you've bottled it. I mean, that is the standards of Manchester United Football Club, written all over in pure black and white. That club have got no standards, and basically, if you're playing a Palace team that can't even beat Chelsea, and we've gone to Selhurst Park when they've not won in 2 games, and we've bottled it. There was a huge opportunity for those players to prove a point, and they bottled it. This first half of performance alone wasn't good enough either. And I think for me, Crystal Palace deserved the point. Manchester United simply do not deserve to win this game this evening. They've bottled it, and they should hang their heads in shame, because those fans and supporters have travelled thousands and thousands of miles up and down the country to go and watch Man United players play in a Man United shirt. And when you've gone to Palace and you've gone 1-0 up at half time, we simply didn't kill the game off, and basically shown the pure vulnerability Man United are showing on off the pitch again. And don't tell me Erik ten Hag has been backed in his January transfer window either. You look at that team and you look at that squad. Midfield is weak. The defence is a liability. And as for that fucking attack in front three as well, Anthony, one of his worst performances ever I've seen in United shirt so far this season. Marcus Rashford has gone back to being his selfish self again by basically deliberately ball hogging the ball and basically going for glory himself. You bring Garnacho on when it should have been done at half time, because we simply could have killed this game off. And the referee and VAR tonight has been dreadful as well. You had a huge opportunity, and Man United have basically thrown 3 points away again. And this is why we don't win trophies. This is why we don't win silverware. This is why we don't get competitive on and off the pitch, because the standards again have dropped. The standards are on the floor again because of a poor fucking performance like that against Crystal Palace. I mean, no disrespect. They're not going to get relegated. They ain't going to go anywhere. And basically, we've been sat here with an Olise stunner that has stunned De Gea, stunned Erik ten Hag, has stunned that team, has stunned that players. The game was there to be won. The vulnerability was shown from the minute go in the second half. We basically could not control the game, couldn't control possession, couldn't control the ball. And the amount of times we gave the ball away in that first half, as well as the second, we basically fell asleep. Man United basically got into bed and basically fell asleep. They shut their eyes and they let Crystal Palace attack them. And I told you, with the threat of Eze and Edouard and Mateta and Olise, the Palace attack was there. Man United could not cope with those four running at that back four. They could not cope. And the vulnerability of Luke Shaw as a left back as well as our Wan-Bissaka at right back, they ain't fucking good enough. And it needs to be called out now. The Palace game is basically there to be won. And we've basically thrown away 3 points. To draw 1-1 is a bloody disaster. Don't tell me there's positives coming in and out that game tonight. I mean, Weghorst tonight. That's meant to be the plan going forward for the rest of the season. Weghorst up front. Are we playing long ball football again? Because it looks like that is what we're planning to do. Is basically play long ball forward and lock the ball up to the pitch. That is basically what we're trying to do. Is that the plan? Because this basically shows Erik ten Hag as a manager ain't getting backed. That team tonight is crying out for reinforcements in this January transfer window in 2023 this year. Where's the new players? Where's the new signings? We've bottled it tonight due to that team. They can't be trusted, and it's starting to show. The cracks are appearing again in that team. The cracks are starting to show, and it's so damn obvious what is going to happen. More performances like this will happen this season. We will throw more stupid points away against teams like Crystal Palace, and it showed. You had the game won, you had the 3 points, and you've been left there sat on your ass because Olise stunner from a free kick has stunned the Man United fans, and the supporters had that game won. We literally became the 12th man. This fan base has got the best fan base in the world as Man United fans. We are the best fan base in the world and the best supporters, what we travel on and off the road. And Man United tonight have basically shown to you, we may go 9 games in a win in a row, but tonight we want to take our foot off the gas and let's have a bit of a rest. You've got your first choice right back out injured. Donny van der Beek out injured. Anthony Martial out injured again. 3 vulnerable positions we've got no backup to. Weghorst is the answer to Martial. We've basically got Wan-Bissaka at right back and that's it. Donny van der Beek, we've got McFred. And basically what's happened here tonight, the players are showing fatigue, the players are picking up injuries, and tonight basically shows you can't rely on Marcus Rashford either. I'm sorry, all the hype he has had over the last few weeks has been justified, but tonight I basically saw the good and bad of Marcus Rashford, and it's starting to return. He doesn't pass the ball, he hogs the ball and goes for glory himself because he thinks he can do it all on his own. Tonight again, utterly poor ball distribution. I'm sorry, that was one of the worst performances I've seen from Rashford all season. And I told you, you can't trust him going forward. It will keep happening in a Man United shirt. And please subscribe to the channel if you're new, because I think Man United fans, we need to start getting realistic now. Tonight was a huge chance for the fans and supporters to see us above Man City and above Newcastle. Well, you've bottled that. We're now 8 points off Arsenal, 2 points off Man City, 1 point clear of Newcastle, and basically 6 clear of Spurs. That ain't acceptable. I'm sorry. We may be in top 4, but basically what the board and what the owners have decided to do, they're not letting the manager have no more signings in January. And apparently, according to Fabrizio Romano, which was said on Friday or Saturday evening, there are going to be no more new signings at Man United in January because there's no money. And apparently we're only going to sell if we sell Wan-Bissaka at right back and get a right back in. Well, I'm telling you what, we do need a backup right back and we need another midfielder. Yuri Tillemans is available from Leicester. We need a backup right back. If you could get 20 million for Aaron Wan-Bissaka and 30 for McTominay, there's 50 million sat right in front of the Glazers and the owners and the board of this club, right in their face, on the table in hard-earned cash through player sales to go and spend in January. But basically, the owners and the board have said, we're turning all the taps off at the top of Old Trafford and we're shutting up shop. because basically they think Weghorst and Butland are going to be the long-term answers for Man United this season. It's not going to happen. All this hope, all this praise, all this hype we had from these 9 wins in a row, Man United have basically shot themselves in the foot tonight, because you could have beat Crystal Palace. They ain't nothing special and basically rely on Olise, Zaha to be on their top form. And we've been left by a stunning free kick, which is 30 yards out, and De Gea's got no answer tonight. And basically, the wall that is sat in front of De Gea, that wall doesn't even jump. And I mean, I can't understand why we're conceding a dangerous free kick like that on the edge of our own box to basically let Palace have the opportunity to go for goal. That Olise is a quality right winger. Why we never looked at that in the summer absolutely would bewilder me, because he deserves better than Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace fans, you should be proud tonight, because that player is getting you out of trouble. Because I tell you what, that stunning free kick is for me one of the goals of the season. It basically stunned Manchester United. And Erik ten Hag's reaction basically says it all tonight. We've now lost Casemiro for the Arsenal game. Has picked up his 5th booking, is out for the Arsenal game. So basically, the midfield 3 will be a combination of Fred, McTominay, and probably Fernandes and Eriksen. That's the midfield for Sunday. And for Anthony as well, we paid 85 million. I was not impressed tonight. I mean, the spat between him and Bruno Fernandes, are the cracks showing again? Is this the same old Manchester United letting the fans and supporters down? Is this the same old crap the fans and supporters are going to get again? Because once they've bottled one game, they'll bottle the next. I mean, if you're going to go and play like that against Arsenal, I fear what's going to happen, because you look at the way Arsenal are ripping everybody apart. And then now look at the advantage you've given Man City tomorrow night, as well as Spurs. Because as soon as we've dropped points, Spurs and Man City are going to be sat there thinking, right, we can get in towards Manchester United. We can go clear of Manchester United. They're going to do that. You look at the team Pep Guardiola and Pochettino have got. I would rather take half that team and put it at Man United, because that game, we should have shut up shop and go for the second goal. Garnacho should have come on earlier. And then to lose Casemiro, who's one of our best midfielders, we've lost him for Sunday. It basically, for me, makes no sense what we're trying to achieve. That we've got a player on a yellow card, which basically is going to be a risk to go in for Sunday, and then to lose him for the game as well, basically shows the vulnerability of Man United, because you've got no Donny van der Beek, and you're basically stuck with McTominay and Fred going forward. So I dread what's going to happen Sunday if we keep playing like this, because, you know, Man United have had an opportunity to get towards a title. We're not winning the Premier League. Let's be realistic now. After that tonight, I ain't convinced. I'm sorry. That ain't good enough. The standards have dropped again because of those players. And those players think they're good enough. I'm sorry, you're not, lads. I'm sorry, you're not. Eriksen, poor ball distribution. Bruno Fernandes, massively ambitious long ball forward passing again. That doesn't make our front 3. I mean, Weghorst, a Burnley striker on loan for the rest of the season. I mean, is that the standards? Is that really the whole plan? Was Weghorst the prime option we wanted? Because I tell you what, I can't see him scoring a goal. And without Martial, I don't trust Weghorst. I'm sorry, after one game, I ain't convinced. If that's the plan, long term, and we sign him in the summer permanently, watch Man United don't sign a striker in the summer who can't put the ball in the net. Because Weghorst ain't the answer. I'm sorry, what did he do to actually offer a threat? Realistically, what did he actually do? He did, for me, fuck all. And for me, that is showing through the front 3. There was no combination of threat in that midfield, and basically that attack as well. We are lacking so much energy, and you can tell that squad's fatigued, because we've got Arsenal on Sunday, Nottingham Forest next Wednesday, Reading next Saturday, Nottingham Forest again, then we've got Leeds, then we've got Barcelona, then we've got Leicester. The games are coming thick and thin for Man United, and basically you look at Erik ten Hag's reaction, and for me, deep down, he looks really pissed off. And for me, I don't blame him. You've bottled it tonight, United. You had a huge opportunity to go above Man City and basically close the gap to Arsenal, but you haven't. They've basically shown to the world again, if you can't beat Crystal Palace, that basically shows me and tells me quite quickly that you as a football club have all this hype built up around you. And you have all this protection from social media saying you can't say that about Man United, you can't say this, you can't say that. But I'm sorry, if you can't beat Palace, that basically shows you're a bottle job still. You're not improving. The shit standards are still there, and the players are getting away with it. Those players tonight have let those fans and supporters down. We're singing our hearts out. We're the best fan base in the world. In my opinion, we are the best fan base, and we deserve what we got tonight. Man United fell asleep and simply could not cope with Crystal Palace's attacking threat. They couldn't cope. And the midfield were getting roads round them. We were getting round like a roundabout. That's how bad it's got. And for me, if that's that going forward, we're basically screwing our season up. And for me, we could be out the Carabao Cup playing like that. We could be out the FA Cup playing like that. That ain't good enough. That's it. This is Manchester United. It ain't some circus act. This is meant to be a rebuild. Where's the rebuild? Because, like, you look at that front three. We wanted Gakpo, we wanted João Felix, we wanted Memphis Depay, we wanted Marcus Thuram, and Man United said no to all four. We're not paying the loan fee, we're not signing players in January, we're not going to make permanent signings that aren't part of the long term. What's the plan then, long term? Because I tell you what, are the Glazers going anywhere after tonight? Realistically, I don't see this club getting sold. I don't. And I don't see it happening to Liverpool either. I don't think either of those clubs are going to get sold in the summer. I think the same old owners are still going to be running the ship for both these clubs in the summer. And Man City and Arsenal are going to keep running away with it. And Newcastle are going to become even more of a threat. Spurs will become more of a threat. Arsenal and Man City will keep strengthening to improve their squads. What are Man United doing? We're resting on our laurels again. And for me tonight, you know, you could have beat Palace. But that midfield, that defence and that attack has cost us. You look at the number of chances we had through on goal. Garnacho doesn't take it. Fernandes doesn't take a chance. Rashford can't take his chances. Weghorst offered nothing up front. Anthony should have put us ahead. We could have been 2 or 3-0 up at half-time because Palace were there for the taking. Patrick Vieira has actually done a good job at Crystal Palace. And the amount of stick he actually gets as a manager is quite unbelievable for me. Because you look at the young attacking talent Crystal Palace has got. Man United ain't got none of that. We've basically got Garnacho and that's it. And as soon as he came on, you look at the instant impact. I mean, why is he on the bench again? I question that tactic of, I know we're trying to get him to sign a new contract and he wants more money. And I can understand why. Because he's literally got Man United out of jail on more than one occasion. And basically Man United saying, why should we give you £30,000 a week? You only should be getting 20. Well, I'm sorry. Have you seen some of his performances this season? Why he should be getting more of a wage? He's one of our best fucking attacking players. And you leave him on the bench. And Crystal Palace could not cope with that tonight. But then you take Eriksen off, which made no sense. Why we're taking Eriksen off? Because McTominay and Fred, the liability of those two as well. I mean, if offers came in for them in January this month, I would take them and I would drive them to their next club because I cannot stand both of them in a Man United shirt. They ain't good enough. And people need to realise all this player protection has actually got to stop. Because if you keep protecting them, their egos are only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And basically, their egos will get so big, they'll be living up their own ass. And those players tonight think the sun shines out their ass and they look at the wage they're on. But if you can't beat Crystal Palace, you basically saying to the world of football, you can't beat Crystal Palace. They're not a team anyone actually fears. Arsenal would have beat them tonight. Man City would have beat them tonight. Newcastle would have beat them tonight. We can't. That is because of that team. That ain't good enough on paper. That team should have been good enough. But because the opportunities we had, we didn't take. But basically sat here thinking, what the hell's going on? And as soon as that equaliser goes in, I'm thinking to myself, what the hell has just happened? We should have won that game. That game should have been 3 points. Should have been a win next to our name. We would have been up to second tonight. And people think we're going to win the league. Are you having a laugh watching that crap? We just could not control the game. Second half, we should have gone for the kill. As soon as it kicked off, we should have gone for the ultimate deciding goal that gets us the win. But also, 2 key decisions tonight. That Mateta elbow on Lisandro Martinez. He's looked round the corner and he's seen Lisandro Martinez there. And he's deliberately elbowed him and Martinez's head starts bleeding. How VAR hasn't looked at that and given that a red card is bewildering. That's a red card. A deliberate elbow is a straight red. And you're telling me that, that's not a bookable offence. Well, it clearly is if his head's bleeding. He's deliberately elbowed him. And then when Bruno Fernandes then puts McTominay through, how's that not a penalty? He's deliberately, McTominay, been tripped up on the ball. That Richards has brought McTominay down in the box. Oh, it's not a penalty. How's that not a penalty? I'm telling you what, big decisions are not going to the bigger clubs. It's not getting delivered, and I'm sorry. It ain't acceptable. If standards are going to be like that, I can't be asked. I'm sorry. For me as a football fan, as a supporter, it basically shows the vulnerability in that Man United team is continuing to show because you don't get any enthusiasm from that bench. The best player on our bench is Garnacho. But when VAR and referees are too lenient and don't want to give big decisions to the bigger clubs, it basically sums us up that VAR and referees now in the Premier League have no clue how to referee a game. And how that is not a penalty, that bewilders me because McTominay has been clearly brought down off the ball and that Richards has tripped him up in the box and it's not a penalty. We would have won that game if that was awarded. That game would have been won. And that's, for me, that is why it's all gone wrong. The penalty decision should have been a penalty. So if it carries on, then I can see Man United just dropping even more points because the fixture pile-up's getting worse. I mean, should we sacrifice one of the cup competitions? That is what I ask myself. Should one of the cup competitions now be sacrificed? Because we are going to get so tired. We're going to get so fatigued. And those players are going to pick up injuries. And I mean, I feel sorry for Erik ten Hag in all this because he's come to a football club with so much hope and so much promise that he's going to get this club back to the top of English football. And all of a sudden, it's come crashing back down to earth again. Because of those players, they could not be trusted in 90 minutes. And as for Luke Shaw, please take him out of this team. He was absolutely shocking tonight. And people are calling him Sharberto Carlos. I mean, come on. He ain't that good. He hasn't been good when he broke his leg in two places. When we had Van Gaal in charge, it was the Champions League group stages against PSV. He has not been the same player ever since. And tonight, basically tries to turn into Wonder Boy and tries to run up the wing all the time to put a cross in the box. He simply can't do it. And you would have thought with the aerial threat of Weghorst, he could have put some decent deliveries into the box. I mean, we're shit at corners as well. We had huge opportunities to get the win tonight. Even Casemiro did. I mean, the corner from Fernandes right into the 93rd minute. Casemiro, all he has to do is tap that in and it hits its thigh. It hits his thigh and it goes wide. I mean, we had so many opportunities. We simply do not have the goals in this team. I mean, if Anthony's going to keep performing like that, he needs to be dropped. And if Rashford keeps playing like that, needs to be dropped. Is Marcus Rashford now suffering burnout? Has the burnout finally hit him? Is he carrying an injury? Because like that if if you keep playing the way we did, teams will sense the vulnerability of Man United and we will get sucked up upon very, very quickly. And Palace did that. They saw the vulnerability Man United had in that second half and Palace basically pounced like a cat chasing a bloody pigeon. That is how bad it got this evening. Palace were the better team in that second half and they were well drilled and they went for it. They had nothing to lose. They may have been 1-0 down, but they actually showed fight. They actually showed charisma and they showed some bloody passion. Something Man United failed to deliver in that second half for a single minute of the game. We basically bottled it. And I think Erik ten Hag is now looking like a beaten man. He's thinking to himself, I've got this so right. In the last 9 games, we've won 9 games in a row. We've come up against Palace. I'm expecting us, the team in the last, to get the win. And we've bottled it by conceding a stupid free kick in the 90th minute. Olise hits it and it goes top corner off the bar. And it's like when luck's out against you, luck is out. And basically, Palace have got lucky here. If they would have put a cross into the box, we would have won that game and the counter-attack would have been on. But to put Fernandes out on the right wing when he's not a right winger, and to bring Weghorst off, we basically had no attacking option in the centre of the box and we couldn't deliver the results. And the goals are drying up. And I kept saying this. You lose Anthony Martial to injury again. I mean, injury-prone striker should have been let go in the summer, should have been sold, and we should have replaced Ronaldo, Cavani and Martial. Every player that leaves this club should be replaced. If you know how to operate a football club properly, every player that leaves out that door needs to be replaced, and we're not doing it. We've let Cavani and Ronaldo go, and we thought, do you know what? Let's bring Weghorst on a season-long loan from Burnley. I mean, that is the plan of Man United for the rest of the season, is to rely on Weghorst to get the goals. Let's rely on Weghorst, and please subscribe to the channel if you're new. That is United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. I want the fan base to become part of this channel for future Man United content, because you should be proud of yourself tonight. You've travelled to Palace, you've sang your hearts out, and unfortunately that team has bottled it for you. And I feel sorry for the fans and supporters, because we deserved the win, in my opinion, from the first half. But the second half, the lads have basically down tools and down tooled on the manager again. They did this under Solskjaer, they did this under Ragnick and Moyes and Mourinho and Van Gaal. They are now doing it to Ten Hag. They cannot go on a long winning run for ages. They cannot do it. And it showed that the vulnerability, the tiredness and the fatigue is now setting in. It's like having a really bad cold and the cold's getting worse. And that's Man United. We've become a cold. And the cold is setting into the team, that the tiredness and the weakness is now showing very, very quickly. And for me, this is a concern, especially when you've got Barcelona next month. 2 legs away and at home. Europa League knockout round playoff. I mean, can that team beat Barcelona the way Barcelona are ripping up the Liga and the way they dismantled Real Madrid the other night? I fear where this season could head if this gets any worse, because the vulnerability is now showing in some of the last few performances at Man United Football Club. And I'm sorry, I think that more investment's needed in January. We cannot go with this team right to the end of May, because the injuries will pick up and we'll lose half this squad, we'll lose half this team, and we'll lose half these players. And if you lose half this team and half these players, we're basically screwing up our own season, basically showing pure vulnerability of this football club deep down has no clue what it's doing. On and off the pitch, the owners and the board are running this joint and they're running it badly. No one's doing anything about it. We need to protest more to get these owners removed sooner rather than later. And apparently they want a full sale of the club before the end of March. We need it happening now. We need it happening tomorrow, not tonight. We need it happening now. Sell up and piss off out this club, because you're the one telling Eric Ten Hag, go with what you've got for the rest of the season. There's no more money. And what a load of crap that is to come out with as well. There's no more money to improve that fatigue squad. There's no more money. Well, that's basically shutting up shop then. You're basically leaving the club out of money and basically saying to Ten Hag, up yours, basically. Saying basically, fuck you. We don't give a shit what happens the rest of the season. Just get on and manage the club and manage the team and manage these players. Basically, summing up, do you know what? They don't give a shit. And it clearly shows 18 years of pure bad ownership is showing in that team now. I mean, there are 8-9 players I would sell this month just to replace. And after tonight, it needs to happen. Get rid of McTominay, get rid of Fred, get rid of Wan-Bissaka. I mean, we paid £50 million for Wan-Bissaka from Crystal Palace. And tonight, Crystal Palace players sensed the vulnerability on Wan-Bissaka. They sensed it quickly. And it's going to get even worse when we've got no Dalot for the rest of the season, basically. No Donny van der Beek, no Martial. I'm dreading where the season's heading. And the problem is, if Martial is out injured, are we then going to keep Elanga? Because Elanga ain't the backup to Weghorst, surely. I mean, can't get a game. What's he doing here? Just sell him and get some money. If Newcastle want McTominay, let him go. If West Ham want Maguire, let him go. Just get some money for these players and improve this team, because I do not want to see this season crash and burn and we don't win anything, because The fan base has been so great and confident in the last few weeks, and all that confidence has been drained out again because of this team tonight. And I sensed it from the minute go that Palace were going to get back into this and they were going to score. And I saw that so quickly that they were the better team, had the better players, and they attacked Man United's back four. And the Sandro Martinez, Luke Shaw and Wan-Bissaka were getting rings round them. For me, that's our back four. Luke Shaw ain't good enough, and it's being proved. If you had offers for Wan-Bissaka and Luke Shaw, would you actually take it? For me, I actually would. I would take it in a heartbeat and go and get a better right back and a better left back. I mean, what's Malacia done wrong at left back to not be in there tonight? Jadon Sancho is back in training, is back training for the first team, and he's not even involved. And please subscribe to United Red Devils 20 on this channel, on YouTube, if you're new to the channel community, become part of something amazing and great for all of your futures as well. So I'm going to start giving out free moderators as well on the channel. I'm going to make people moderators on future channel on this content. So I'm going to give away free moderator subscriptions to people so they can become moderators on this channel. So, become part of it, because I just feel tonight there's been a huge opportunity yet again. It's just been thrown away. We do this to ourselves all the time. We crumble more than a Maryland cookie biscuit. We've basically crumbled in our own tactical pursuit of glory. We've crumbled tonight, and the vulnerability has shown quickly. And for me, the team's tired, it's fatigue, and Ten Hag tonight knows it. I think we all know it. That team cannot be trusted going full time. It can't. Weghorst will not get you the goals. And if Martial is still out injured and we get rid of Elanga, they've got to replace Elanga. And if Borussia Dortmund want him, just sell him permanently. You get 60, 70 million in January for 3 or 4 players. That 70 million could be drafted to get another striker, another midfielder, a right back. That's 3 more players to add up on top of Butland and Weghorst. But Butland and Weghorst, I just think these are Bournemouth signings. This is what Bournemouth would do if they were desperate for players. They would get Jack Butland or a Weghorst on loan to try and get their season over the line so they can secure Premier League safety. This is what Man United shouldn't have done. We've basically shown to the fans and supporters, we don't give a shit about you. We don't give a shit about your views. We don't give a shit about your opinions. And basically, we don't care what you think. But the fans are always right. We are always right. We are on the road with United all the time. We go and watch games. We go and watch them play. But when they crumble right in front of you, it's like a sickening feeling. It's like it makes you want to throw up watching that second half, because why couldn't we control possession? Why couldn't we control the ball? We've got, for me, one of the best midfielders in the Premier League, the best midfield trio. And I would compare that to Man City, Arsenal, even Spurs and Newcastle. I would even say we've got a better midfield than Liverpool and Chelsea. And tonight, it's like the chemistry completely went. And it's like, what the hell's going on? The team just looked lack of ideas. There is a lack of attacking threat. And basically, we gave up. We basically said, you know what? We can't give any more. We can't do any more. It's like being stuck in the Haas Formula One team. And the pace they've got is all they've got, and they can't get past 18th or 17th place in a Formula One race. And the engine they've got is basically shit, and they can't get any more pace out the car, and they're going to have to maintain position for the rest of the race. That's what Man United do. Man United should have a Ferrari engine in the back of those players. We basically down-tooled and put the Haas engine in and basically said we're knackered, and this is all the pace and the maintenance we've got for the rest of the 90 minutes. Changes should have been made very, very quickly to get us over the line, but I wouldn't have taken Eriksen off, and I wouldn't have taken off Weghorst, because the attacking options just went. And I would have taken Anthony off because I just thought he was poor. But I'm willing to give him another chance to see if he's willing to get back into gear, because tonight, 85 million we spent, and it looks like, you know what, should we have done it? But you know, that's what we wanted. That is what we needed. We needed Anthony on the right wing. And I know he didn't have his greatest game, but if I'm starting to see bust up and cracks between players, I fear that is what's going to happen again, because it happened last season. It happened the season before. Players were fighting and arguing amongst each other, and the cracks appeared, and Solskjaer and Rangnick simply had no answer to this team and these players because they knew these players will do this. These players are on stupid money, on stupid wages a week. This is what happens. And I just feel that, you get above Man City, that's a statement of intent. They can now go. I mean, how many points can they go clear of Man United tomorrow? I mean, Spurs can close the gap to 3. Newcastle win their next game. They leapfrog Man United. We could be out of top 4 by the end of the weekend. That's what could happen. All this title race talk that we can actually win a trophy. Yeah, we can win a trophy. Ain't going to be the Premier League, though, because we can't compete with Arsenal. We can't compete with Man City, and I'm sorry. The truth hurts. We simply cannot compete with the recruitment. We can't compete with the strength of both teams. And Man United, going away to the Emirates, I'm dreading what's going to happen now, because Arsenal know Man United's vulnerability is going to be there for the taking now. And they're going to see McTominay and Fred in that midfield with Eriksen and Fernandes on Sunday. Casemiro ain't going to be there. They'll target that midfield. And they'll be like, well, Weghorst ain't really a threat. So we'll know how to deal with him as well. So there's going to be huge opportunities now for other teams around Man United to close the gap again. And this is what we do to ourselves. We get ourselves in such a good position, then we bottle it. This is Man United's DNA. Start well, go on a long unbeaten run, and then we drop points. It's so the DNA of Man United now. They cannot compete with the best teams in the league. I mean, if that's what's going to happen against Palace, could you imagine away to Bournemouth and away to Newcastle and at home to Leicester and at home to Southampton? Because we've got to play all them yet. You play like that in the second half, teams will run circles around that team because Erik ten Hag basically knows he needs more backing and he ain't getting it. And if I was the manager of this club, I would be going into that boardroom to the owners the next morning and saying, I need more players in January. I need another midfielder. I need another striker. I need a right back. Sell some of this deadwood and get me the players I need because you promised me I'd get Gakpo. Well, we can't get you Gakpo. We're not paying 50 million, but we're going to go to the PSV with a cheeky loan bid with a delegation to buy at the end of the season. PSV said no. Liverpool came in, 37 million. Bang, got the deal done. Chelsea wanted João Felix. Paid the loan fee Atletico Madrid wanted. Paid all the loan fee wages João Felix wanted. Got the deal done. Bang. Atletico Madrid have gone and got Memphis Depay out of Barcelona. 3 million. Bang, and it's done. Marcus Thuram has been available for Borussia Mönchengladbach and he's a fucking striker. And you went for Weghorst. That's like walking into a restaurant wanting steak and chips, but they've got no chips and the steak sell-by date is today. And it ain't fresh. The steak is out of date and there's no chips. So basically, we've got no steak and we've got no chips. So what are they going to say next to me? We've got no ketchup and we've got no mayonnaise. That is what is Man United. Man United, you're meant to walk in and get the proper steak and the proper chips. But we're setting below standards. We don't want the proper steak and we don't want the chips. So this is what's happened tonight. That is what has happened. United's DNA has been proved to be broken again. There was no passion, no commitment, no desire, and there was no attacking flair in that team. I'm sorry, that ain't good enough. If you want to win trophies and you want to win titles and you want top 4, you go and beat Palace away from home and get the 3 points that we needed. And it's just unfortunate we couldn't defend in the last few minutes and give away stupid tackles, stupid free kicks. But what's cost us of all, we've lost Casemiro for Sunday. So, this is what's going to happen. We've lost Casemiro for Sunday and we're basically relying on McFred. This is going to get worse, isn't it? This shows that when you've got a new manager and you don't get backed, this is what happened under Van Gaal, Mourinho, Solskjaer, Rangnick. They all wanted players. Man United said, no, up you. We're not getting you the players you want. You've got to go with what you've got. You've got to improve the current team. That ain't acceptable. If I was Man United manager, I'm going into the ballroom next morning and demanding new players. I'm demanding new signs and I get what I fucking want. And if it needs to be called out in a press conference saying I'm not getting backed, call it out in a press conference, because it's not fair on a new manager. It needs to be more decent, because tonight shows that squad is fucked. Rest of the season, I dread now what's going to happen, because tonight showed it. Tonight has showed it. Without Dalot, without Van der Beek, and without Martial, and with a misfiring Marcus Rashford and Fred and McTominay costing us in midfield, and Wan-Bissaka and Luke Shaw, I said if you keep certain number of these players, they will cost you the game. And it has happened right in front of Man United's eyes. And please subscribe to the channel United Red Devils 20 on YouTube if you're new to the channel community. I want you all to become part of future Manchester United content. And I'm giving out free moderators to let people become moderators on this channel so they can look after this channel for me for the future, for content, subscriptions, comments, and notifications. So yeah, I mean, my man of the match, I mean, if we would have got over the line, I have given it to Casemiro and David De Gea, because David De Gea made some crucial saves to keep Man United 1-0 up, and Casemiro was, a box-to-box fox in the box in midfield, and basically was our best midfielder by a mile out of Eriksen and Fernandes. I'm just disappointed. On the road again, United have bottled it. I mean, it's 10 games unbeaten in a row, but it would have been icing on the cake with 10 wins in a row, because, this is the standards of we drop points, we can't beat Crystal Palace, and we're basically down tooling under yet another manager. There was an opportunity tonight for United, and they've basically screwed up. And it's on the players, it's on that team. It's not Erik ten Hag's fault. Blame that board and blame those owners, because this is what they're doing to another manager. Basically, down tooling, writing the rest of the season off, and the best hope they've got is by playing an aging goat up front in Weghorst. And if it's going to be like for the rest of the season, Weghorst is going to be nothing more than a disaster for signing. And after one game, I ain't convinced. So remember to hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new to the community and this channel. And share the video, hit the tweet button, hit the retweet button. And remember to put that notification bell on all times as well, so you receive dedicated brand new content planned for the rest of 2023 this year on this channel. United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Got more Fortnite content coming. FIFA 23 Career Mode. Hogwarts Legacy. Kingdom Hearts 4. SpongeBob SquarePants The Cosmic Shape. More match reactions. More match reviews. And yeah, we had a huge opportunity tonight. United have bottled it, and it's nothing more than what we deserve. But that Olise stunner has stunned United tonight. And I feel for Ten Hag, it ain't his fault. But, let's hope we can pick ourselves up for Sunday, because we've only got Arsenal. I mean, it couldn't go wrong, could it? I mean, it could. Just let me get a pen and paper and let me write down what could go wrong. So, yeah, please join me for the Arsenal preview tomorrow afternoon on United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel. Look out for the Premier Match preview for Man United's upcoming away game against Arsenal Sunday evening, match day 20 for the Red Devils. And hopefully we can get back to ways in the league, because tonight, basically down-tooled and let another manager down. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday evening, and I'll speak to you guys tomorrow afternoon for the preview between Arsenal and Manchester United. And hopefully we'll go through what positives we can take into Sunday. But I fear without Casemiro in midfield and the lack of threat up front with Weghorst and Anthony and even Rashford, and if we haven't got Martial or Sancho either, we know the front three's picking itself Sunday. So yeah, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday evening, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to United Red Devils 20 on YouTube, and also free moderators are going to be given out soon as well to people on this channel, already on the channel community. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday evening. Thanks for watching. But same old Manchester United, same old story. Bottle Jobs FC is recurring at Man United. Thanks for watching.